if something like this existed when I was younger, I think I would have felt maybe less embarrassed for like the love I had for K-pop, because I really felt like I couldn't be honest about it outside of the internet.
You know, K-pop has really changed so many people's lives. Hi everyone, my name is Stacey.
And I'm Chris Molly.
And this is
Pod in the Verse,
a fan-first podcast that explores everything about the music world.
Here to take K-pop further than ever, episode by episode, we'll get to know other fans and dive deep into the latest content.
So, grab your headphones,
get comfortable,
and dive into the pod with us.
So, Cece, this is our first time seeing the audience first time seeing us, but it's not my first time seeing you.
No, it's not. We actually have a Spanish version available for the podcast. Tenemos una versión en español de este podcast. If you guys go to the feed, you guys can find it easily.
But for those of us who are listening right now, this is the English version. Why is there also like there's two versions? Because we wanted to reach as many people as possible.
So, Chris Molly, why are we here?
I don't know. Why are we here? We take a look around. I think we're here to talk about K-pop.
And I think it's crazy because if you think about it, this genre of music that came from the other side of the world is what brought us here today.
Yeah, something that my mom thought was a phase like 10 years ago when I first entered it, literally has transformed into something that's like changed the world and our lives when we think about it.
And since it's the audience's first time meeting us, I think it would be great to get to know each other a little bit. Like you just mentioned it a little bit earlier that you've been a fan for 10 plus years. Yeah. So tell me, how did you get into K-pop?
I was actually born in the U.S. to two Dominican parents, which makes me U.S. Hispanic. And I found K-pop just looking around when I was 16 on the internet. I don't even know what I was trying to find, but I found a K-pop video there, and that's
you stumbled onto a precious gem.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I was on there probably to look at like One Direction videos, but YouTube used to have a featured page where you could see like the theme of the month, and I'm pretty sure I went in for the Asian Heritage Month.
Oh, in May. Okay.
It was in May. I'm certain it was in May because they were highlighting like a very popular video at the time that was doing crazy numbers in Asia. A music video with like 9 girls in colored pants. I'm making you guess.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. Give me more clues. So,
iconic music video, 9 girls. They're dressed up as mannequins.
Oh my gosh, I already know what this is. This is iconic because I feel like it took Asia by storm, and it even reached where we were living. So it clearly has taken it beyond Asia. And I'm guessing it's G by Girls' Generation.
Exactly. That was the first time I had ever even heard about what K-pop was. And truly, I thought it was just going to be a short fascination. But as you can see, we're sitting here today because it wasn't.
It clearly has turned into a long-term commitment.
Yeah. But, I want to hear about how you got in.
I was born in Argentina to Asian immigrant parents, and I actually immigrated again with my family to the U.S. when I was 15. So I lived in Argentina, one of the best countries in the whole world because we have Messi.
Biased, but
and
okay.
we're the World Cup champions. So
biased, but okay.
But I think in Argentina, like there's not that many Asians. So in my school, I think me and my sister were like the 2 out of the 4 Asian kids in the school. So
wow.
I feel like growing up, I felt very confused about who I was, what my identity was. And in my school specifically, on Saturdays, we had sports day. And so all of the kids would go together. They would go to like the countryside, play sports together. And then my parents wouldn't let me do that. They were like, no, you have to like learn your heritage. You have to learn your culture. And so we went to Chinese school on Saturdays, which was a whole day thing. And so, I mean, in exchange for the languages that I speak now, I'm not athletic, which I think, is a fair trade-off.
I'd take that over being athletic any day.
And I'm grateful for that. But I think growing up, I was like, am I like Asian? Am I Latina? Like, what am I? And so I think that's when K-pop really helped me define that, because K-pop has so many layers. I was like, oh, I'm not just Latino, or I'm not just Asian. Like I can be multiple things at a time. And so I think that's what K-pop really taught me. And so how I got into K-pop was that Super Junior was one of the first K-pop acts to come to Argentina. And because it was like, for my parents, they're like, no one comes here. So they encouraged me to go with my older sister and her friends to just experience something. And I remember going, I didn't even know the members'
Oh my
names.
gosh.
I just went because I was like a 13-year-old kid tagging along with these high school seniors. And then I remember just crying in the concert. I don't even remember what they sang, what they said, or what they were trying to like. They were just singing and dancing, but I remember feeling so touched because I was like, "Oh my god, like these people are so cool." And then I had never seen that type of representation for me as an Asian Latina, and so for me, K-pop changed my life in that sense. And so getting into it, my parents already knew after I came back from that concert that I was in there for a long time, and it's reached it's reached 2025, so
I
here we
mean,
are.
it's so incredible that it could do something so different for so many people
Yeah,
because for you, you found like a sense of identity with it.
100%.
For me, it was more like getting to know a culture I had never even heard about, seen places that no one in my family has ever even been to.
Mhm. Right, and what did your parents think about you getting into something that they're not familiar with, right?
Oh yeah, my parents were like, why don't you listen to music in Spanish?
Why do you have posters of these men?
Of these random men
Why
and
don't
why
you
there's
have
so
Luis
many.
Miguel?
Yeah, why I guess for me it would be Aventura.
Oh, okay, okay.
But literally, because my mom was like, "You don't even know what language they're speaking in." But honestly, it wasn't for them to understand. It was for me to enjoy, and it was truly something that made me so happy and really opened my mind. Because it wasn't just like it stayed in music.
Right.
The music led me to trying to learn more about a little bit about the language, wanting to even go visit Korea,
Mhm.
and at one point even working there.
Yeah.
So I think it's amazing because it could add so much positive to my
Right,
life. And so
right,
my mom just had to deal with it.
right.
She's happy now.
She has no choice.
She has no choice.
But it's crazy because you mentioned like how K-pop took you further into life, right? Like I think the thing about K-pop is that I think for both of us and for so many fans is that it's not just a genre of music. It has so many different layers intertwined to it. It has identity, it has food, culture, language.
Yeah.
And like now it even brought us a job,
Yeah,
which is crazy. And it even took you to Korea. It even took you to so many new experiences. So, K-pop has really changed so many people's lives.
I would not be who I am today if I did not listen to that one YouTube video, like, 10 plus years ago.
Thank
We
you so
wouldn't.
much, Girls' Generations, for their
Shout
contribution to
out.
Chris Malley's life.
Shout out to you guys for for enriching my life, and also for bringing me to you, because we wouldn't know each other
That's
if it
true.
weren't for K-pop.
That's true. One of the things that's crazy is that I was reflecting back onto like these just last couple of years of my life. And then I was thinking in like 2 summers ago, I went to Korea to visit like with my school.
Ooh.
And then I was standing outside the current company that I work for now. And I was just standing there because I was like, wow, this is where the magic happens. Like everything that you see that goes in concerts, like events, like music videos, everything, like the masterminds are here inside this company.
Oof.
And so I remember just being so in awe of like how big the building was, of all the fans that were waiting outside. And then I never even thought that working there was a possibility. Like for me, it was something so foreign, so far away. And for me now that it's like been more than 2 summers to reflect back on that moment. And I think I really manifested it.
Oh,
I
truly.
I made it happen.
I can't believe that you, like, felt it in your spirit, like, I really feel so close to this. Man, it would be amazing to be part of
Mhm.
that one day, and now here you are 2 summers later. Who would have known,
Who would have
honestly?
thought? And I think that goes on to so many fans, right? I think I was talking to this other friend and she was saying, oh, yeah, like because I got into K pop, I started making events. And so that led me to now working as an event planner. And so I think hearing like all of these stories from fans just makes me think that K pop really propels so many people further into their lives.
It does, and I think what helps is the fact there's community.
Hmm. And I, we cannot deny also that K pop has become like so much easier and so much more accessible
Oh my
now.
gosh.
Like I think you mentioning that you got into K-pop through YouTube, I'm assuming that you saw it at like a 480 time like the HD quality wasn't like that, like it wasn't there, but now we get so many live streams, we get concerts everywhere. Like I think now being a K-pop fan is like a much easier like thing to get into, but I think it's crazy because we've been fans for so long, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
probably was it was a difficult challenge for us to get into K-pop.
I mean, you really had to love K-pop to stay in it because if you did not speak Korean or live in Korea, everything was harder. And the translations, we really relied so much within our own fan communities to get
Yeah.
translations. Even like translating, I remember Twitter or X really you did not used to have the auto translate
Oh, of
feature.
course not. Yeah.
So if I saw tweets, I needed to haul myself over to like Google Translate and
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
decode because it wasn't even as good.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, I assume it's because, an older form of the translator. And so the fact that now people can do live streams with live subtitles,
That is crazy. And
that's,
that's
yeah,
that's also a new feature that Weverse has now because even like past couple of years, it wasn't even there.
no.
So I think like truly being a K-pop fan, you have to dedicate so much time and effort to it.
I know, but I do feel like because of the things we suffered through, now people can enjoy a lot more easily and enter
Exactly.
and stay.
Yeah. And I think that's also one of the things that makes the community more passionate and like it's what brings all of us together, right?
When you think about how we treat the groups we love, we really wanna support them as much as we can.
Yeah.
So you can really see the efforts of how much their fandom really wants them to
Yeah.
succeed.
Yeah, and not just that, like I think the fact that a lot of K-pop artists are in this kind of like in the same standing as global artists. In 2024, 17 BTS amongst other K-pop artists topped the charts for the first week global album sales along Adele, Taylor Swift,
Wow.
which is crazy to like 10 years ago, I wouldn't have imagined that they could be seen as the same. Because I think growing up, it was always like, oh, like K-pop is just like a small genre. It's something that like
It
only
was
a few people
othered.
like. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was a very niche thing back in the day.
Mhm.
I say back in the day, I sound very old, but it really was. Like, back in my day, if you liked K-pop.
You're sounding older and
Listen,
older
I
every
am older,
time.
so but really okay, fine. Back when I was in high school, it wasn't something you, like, openly admitted because it wasn't something that was, like, socially okay,
Mhm.
and it was mostly because it hadn't hit, like, the wave just hadn't hit the
Mhm.
US, or at least the part where I was living yet,
Yeah.
and this was actually even before Psy's, like, Gangnam Style, was
Oh my
super
god,
popular.
who could ever forget about Gangnam Style? That was a phenomenon. Like even like my cousins and like people who never heard of K-pop were just like dancing to it.
Yeah, I think they even made a statue of it in Korea, of just,
That's
like, the
crazy.
hands.
Cause it really like I think that was the first time one of the first times probably that it like put Korea and like K-pop into people's like map,
Yeah,
right?
and it in a way to show it like, wow, like, look at the cool stuff they're doing in a
Yeah.
different part of the world.
But now we have so many other like iconic songs like Apatu that got released last
Oh my
year.
gosh. Even hearing it makes me just wanna do the hand motions, like
True, very true. And not just that, like I feel like there's so many other artists that have also collaborated with Western artists. Like we have Lisa with
Oh my
Rosalia.
gosh, of
I love
course.
that song 17 with Kenya Oz. Um we have Jungkook with Lato. Like we have so many different artists that are just collaborating here and there.
Is incredible because now it feels like a more equal playing
Right.
field.
And not just that, like now we have J-Hope, who was the first Korean act to headline Lollapalooza, and Hypen is coming to Coachella. We had, like, there's just so many different like festivals that are happening, and when you see the inclusion of these K-pop acts, I think for me, I feel really proud of how far it has come. Like, I think being a fan for like 15 plus years
See,
already
even
now.
her fandom is older than mine.
My fandom is really old.
Yeah, no, now it's becoming super common that in any music festival you'll find, any major music festival, there'll be, like, at least one K-pop
Yeah.
act now.
And I'm so excited to see 17 up al Norte
Oh
in
my
Monterrey
gosh.
next month. And then TXT is also going to Ceremonia in Ciudad de Mexico. So I'm super excited for all of that.
It's gonna be incredible. It was incredible to see Rise last year when they were.
Oh, Tecate
Yeah.
Emblema. That's true. You got to see it.
It was insane because 'cause I'm like, I never thought I'd even see them stand on a stage here in, like, Mexico City. Like,
Hmm.
that's especially this early into their career.
Not just that, I feel like since we're talking about the global impact of K-pop, I think now seeing the inclusion of like Cat's Eye, for
Ah,
example, like
Cat's
there's just like
Eye.
so many members from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different colors, different they have different voices, and I love that. All of them are so different and so unique, but yet still have the same passion, the same goal. And I love how they were brought together for that.
I think it's something that 10 plus years ago, I would have never even imagined because K-pop was something that was so in one corner of the world. So the way that K-pop and the systems that made it so popular could travel to another part of the world to make a truly global girl group that has like, those inflections of K-pop, but can still maintain their identity
Hmm.
and transform it into something else, I think it's insane. Like somebody when I was, a K-pop fan in high school, I would have never imagined that a group like that could ever happen.
Yeah.
Well, I think it inspires people
Yeah.
to continue falling into K-pop and
Yeah.
seeing it for all the cool stuff that it has.
Hmm. And I'm not biased,
Okay.
but seeing Daniela be in the group as like the first ever Latina in such a major
Oh,
company,
yeah,
I think I truly felt really represented. And so that is amazing.
and I felt represented too as an American because she's an American Latina just
Just
like
like you, a
me.
US Hispanic. I love that. But yeah, it's been amazing to get to know your story, like
Yours as
how
well.
both of us got here and how representation in K-pop hasn't only like been happening in front of the cameras, but also like behind the scenes, just like the two of us working in such a
Yeah.
big company. And I love that for us, like I feel like we're like one step into like what our dreams were. And so it's really amazing to also be able to work alongside you and see how you're growing in this field and in this industry. And then if anything, I'm like super grateful for the community, for you guys, because I think just I feel like as a fan myself, we've really come together to be so passionate about this genre and like we've been able to take it just so much more further than what I could have my 10-year-old could have ever
Of
imagined, you
course.
know? So I'm super grateful for the opportunity that we get to even be here in front of you guys.
Yeah, honestly, I am super, super grateful because if something like this existed when I was younger, I think I would have felt maybe less embarrassed for
Mm,
like the love I had for K-pop because I really felt like I couldn't be honest about it outside of the internet.
mhm,
There wasn't really a space. And
mhm,
so now being able to make content for people like just like me
mhm.
is an incredible opportunity. And I'm super, super happy that we even get to be here together.
Now let's move on to our next section, the Weverse wrap up.
So now we're going to talk about Weverse, the word that I think we've mentioned at least once in this episode, and how it's kind of what it is and how it's revolutionized the way K-pop works globally.
I wish we had Weavers growing up.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, like watching YouTube videos shot on a potato,
Yeah.
watching subtitles that like don't even translate like that accurately. You're like guessing half of the time what they're saying. Weavers has truly just like changed what the K-pop scene is now.
Yeah, and it's kind of like compiled all of the things we used to have to find separately
Hmm.
into one
One
app,
single platform.
one single platform.
So what is Weavers?
Weverse is like this app that can bring you closer to both the artists that you love and the communities that you love.
Hmm.
And it exists to be part of like different artist memberships. Like I know 17, many, many artists, BTS, 17,
And it's not
TXT.
just within K-pop now. Like now we have artists such as Ariana Grande,
Oh,
Megan Thee
yes.
Stallion, Tui. There's so many artists that are not it's not the app is not just limited to K-pop. It's now a music platform. And
Yeah.
so I think like you mentioned, like you can go on the app, you can chat with other fans, get to know the community. You can also use the Weverse DM feature where you can talk to the artists themselves. And not only that, there's also a shop platform within the Weverse app, which is also another mind blowing feature because now you can look at the different merchandise that they sell and
Mm.
then you can ship it into your own country. And so there's so many different options for you to use within Weverse that if you're only there to shop, there is that. If you're there to chat, there is that. If you're there to watch Weverse lives with the automatic live translations, you also have that option.
And I think what's really nice about it is that once you enter it, you don't have to make like a million different profiles to follow a million different people. You
Hmm.
can just join the communities as soon as they're open. And then there you can decide which notifications you want, stay connected. And even I think one of the coolest things is that sometimes the artists themselves will like prompt, their fans like, hey, like do you guys want to like use this template and give me responses to this? And sometimes they'll actually be in there and like commenting, like answering questions, commenting on like the different posts that people make, the letters for them.
Mhm.
It's a really cool app that I really could have done well to have it when I was younger, to actually get a sense of my K-pop community, because my only community was in like the YouTube comments and like the various translators I followed.
Or on Reddit or somewhere in the internet, right?
Yeah, and that's basically where it extended to, but now I can just meet everyone on there and it's a
Mhm.
lot easier.
What has been happening on Weverse? Like, what new updates are there? Are there any tour announcements, any community openings? What have you heard of lately, Chris Molly?
Well, I mean, there's a ton of stuff that's always happening. Those
Always.
banners are always full, but the most interesting for me has actually been 2 new debuts.
Okay.
One of them for Dear Alice, a boy group, and the other one, Hearts to Hearts, a new
Oh my
girl
god,
group.
yes. So, at the time of the recording of this episode, I just watched their new music video called The Chase,
Oh,
and it's already catchy and I love their new concept. It's like very fresh.
and I love that on Weverse, we can always see those things, that like there are new artists coming out, there's new communities
Mhm.
opening up. That was just the most interesting to me because I just love a good debut.
And not only that, I think there has been a new merch announcement for J-Hope because
Mm,
J-Hope is going on tour, and I know that both of us will be there.
that's right, we will.
But this merch, I think, is only for people who have memberships. So if you haven't gotten your
Yeah,
membership, hurry up before it
now's the
runs out.
time.
Now is the time. And that are some of the highlights of what has been happening this week. Obviously, like if you want to look at more news and more updates, download Weavers to be in the loop with everything. And that was the
The
Weavers
Weverse
wrap
wrap
up.
up.
Moving on to the fan zone. This time is for us to get to know you guys and to really give you guys what you guys want, right? So we would love to know who you guys are, which artists do you guys want to see, what do you want us to talk about during the podcast?
Yeah, like what aspects do you find like most interesting about K-pop? Other stuff that you've always wanted to know information about? Let us know.
Yeah, and we would love to get to know you guys in person as well. We will be just visiting and like trying to get to know you guys and interviewing some of you at the J-Hope events that are coming up. We're super excited for that, not just to see like the whole experience ourselves, but also to get to know fans in a personal basis.
Yeah, and to go on the street.
Oh my god, I love that. That was smart. So, in promotion for the world tour, I know
Mm,
that there will be multiple fan events happening.
yes.
One of them is the one in New York. There will be a dance class on March 12th. And then there will later be a flash mob at Times Square that afternoon,
So
which I think is
exciting.
crazy. So, if you're there and you take some videos, please tag us. Please send them our way.
Yeah, like we'll have all our information out here so that way, as soon as you guys get those videos, send them because you never know if you're going to see them somewhere.
Yeah, that is true. Not only that, for the LA one, there will also be another dance class on April 2nd next month. And
Hmm.
so, special reminder also that these are for people who win the raffles. So,
Oh, yeah.
we encourage you guys to participate and be active in the community.
And
Show your love
where can they enter those raffles?
on the Weavers app.
See, you guys need it for everything, so you just might as well download it.
Exactly. And either way, I think today has been such an honor of
Oh,
talking
yes.
to you, Chris Molly, and being able to make this dream come true. Seeing this whole setup truly is like something that blows my mind.
Yeah, it's amazing that we're here simply because we love music
Mhm.
and we decided to keep loving that music. And now we can be here talking to you guys because of that love. So I'm looking forward to everything that's to come.
And we'll see you guys next week. We'll be here every week to bring you guys more information on artists, on Weavers, on everything. And we just really want to stay connected with all of you. So we'll be in touch.
We'll be in touch. Please follow us, like we said earlier, for our social media. So that way you can stay in communication with us and you'll know when you might catch us on the street. So this has been
Pod in the Verse.